introduce myself. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Agus Daud, and I'm proudly representing Shipper today as their VP of Engineer. So I've been very fortunate to be given a chance to talk in the World Cloud Show in Jakarta. Sorry. A little bit about myself. So I have over 15 years experience in software engineering. Yes, 15 years. So you can see that I'm not that young anymore. So I used to work in Amazon US in Seattle and also work in AWS in Sydney prior to joining Shipper. So some of you might wondering why I decided to go back to Indonesia and join Shipper. So I once read a book called Leaving Microsoft to Change the World by John Wood. This book then inspired me to help the startup in Indonesia, my country, moving forward. So with this goal in mind, then I met Shipper a couple years back. Shipper is a technology logistic company with a mission making supply chain accessible for everyone and a vision to moving society forward, which is aligned with my personal goal. So enough with the introduction. I think let's start with the main topic today. Today I want to share my journey in building a Shipper cloud strategy. In 2019, when I first joined Shipper, the company already built a logistic architecture application that ran and served our customer. This application was built in monolith and built on top of PHP language, which is a very common language in Indonesia during that time. However, as the business grew and the number of orders grew significantly over the time, the application soon became a bottleneck. So, Shipper as the company, as a startup, we have four main goals. First is being able to deliver value faster to the customer. In Shipper, we always start with customer and going backward. And the second goal is being able to handle order growth and order spike during a big campaign like 11/11, 12/12, and Lebaran. The number of order spike can be 5 to 10 times during the campaign periods. And the third requirement, of course, to easily connect with other service, either internal or externals. And the last one, of course, we want to be secure and reliable. Right? We want to have a server that's secure and reliable. Turn out the existing application is no longer aligned with the company goals. As the development gets slower day by day, and the application often crashes during campaign. We need to restart it a few times. It is unable to handle the order volume spike. It is hard to scale the monolith application properly, as you guys are aware. So I stepped up and explained to our CEO and COO to revamp and modernize the application. They were also aware that the application was built with a limited resource and no longer aligned with the company goals. If we leave it as it is, it will become a big technical debt. So after a few discussions, finally I got approval to revamp the application, which is very exciting to me. Then we immediately start working on it. So here's a couple approach that we take to revamp the application. First, we split the application into multiple microservices. So there is an order service, tracking service, driver service, and customer portal. Second, we also change the development process to use agile and bi-weekly sprint instead of using ad hoc process with almost no planning. Third, we introduce more structured roles like product roles, engineering roles, and testers. So we decided to rewrite the application language and move away from PHP. We rewrite it with Golang. Not to mention, we also train our existing engineers to learn the Golang language, send them to our partner AWS to learn about cloud technology. We also hiring a couple engineers that expert in Golang, mentor the existing engineer, and including myself, I'm hands-on mentoring our engineers. iteratively, as time goes, as our engineers get their skill polished and more up to date, we're utilizing more and more cloud features. So, for example, instead of using our own database that we host in the VM or EC2 instance, we migrate to use AWS RDS. We also use Amazon S3 for our asset storage and backup. And later on, we start to utilize containers and Kubernetes for auto-scaling the server nodes. As the requirement from business, we can easily scale up and scale down as the volume grows during campaign period. Well, it took quite a while. It took 1 year to finish the project, to modernize our application, logistic application. It is not just a plain rewriting, but also along the way we're adding features and improvement based on the customer feedback. However, the project cloud migration, it doesn't stop here. Instead of developing and migrating to the cloud, we also utilize cloud management tools. Cloud management tools are very important for us to help optimize, control, and manage our cloud infrastructures. As our infrastructure grows within AWS, and our environment scale over time, it is important to have a good understanding of the cloud management tools to help operate our infrastructure efficiently. Here I want to share with you some cloud management tools that we use. So first we use Amazon CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a monitoring tool that can collect metric, set and manage alarms. So you can set the alarms when CPU reaches certain threshold, and then you can do certain action like auto-scaling, or when the database is running low storage, so we can prepare 1-2 weeks earlier to expand the storage. Another tool that we use a lot as well is AWS CloudFormation and Terraform. So using AWS CloudFormation and Terraform allow us to create a set of cloud resources such as Amazon EC2 instance, CloudFront distribution, RDS database instance, and others, just writing a template file, or sometimes we call it infrastructure as a code. So we can easily tear down our infrastructure, modify it, and create a new one just within a few clicks. And then one of the other tools that I found it useful as well is AWS Trust Advisors to help implement some of the best practice and recommendation across your AWS environment, security and cost saving. Yeah, so in the later stage, after the management tool, we start also strengthening our security by utilizing Amazon Security Hub to reduce the CVE, or the common vulnerability and exposures finding. One thing that's really important as well during the migration, we spend enough time in communicating and train our operation team to use our new application and our developers to develop using the new standard. To be honest with you, it is not easy at the first because they already get used to the old way. Even the new way has significant improvement. You need to align with their managers or their team leaders, give them enough time, proper training to make sure they understand how to use the new system and realize the benefit of it. Okay, lastly, how do we measure the progress and the success of our cloud migration? We need to give progress and transparency to everyone in the company. Here is some measurement that I use during the migration project. So we use Jira, and we break down every features into epic and story. So one of the the first one is we can measure number of features, epic and story completed or migrated into the cloud architectures. Second, we can measure number of engineers get trained or get certification from the cloud. Number of automation we got in each service from the test automation, cloud formation, CI/CD. We can measure number of service availability or RTO or guarantee uptime. Because this is become critical once the company grows large. A lot of partners asking what is your guarantee uptime. And we also measure number of order per second or transaction per second normally. that each service can handle. So we know like how many servers and how many orders we can handle with our service. And then the last one, I think that critical as well as we grow is reduction in infrastructure costs or cost per orders. So normally we measure that and we have a KPI to reduce the costs. So as a summary from our experience, there are 4 most important things to keep in mind when you build in the cloud. First is of course the most critical, as I shared before, identify the company goal for moving to the cloud. What is your main reason to moving to the cloud? Is the current application still relevant or not? Please do not just adopt cloud service because they are look cool, they are trendy, and look cool in your resume. I think it's very hard to get approval. Second advice, I think let's do it in iteration. Start small. Don't try to build and plan everything in one go. So from my experience, we do in iteration. We focus on the product and features that bring the most value to customers and have the most benefit when we use cloud features. We also use retrospective regularly and keep iterating for improvement. Make sure you have a transparent progress using project management tools like Jira. So, yeah, this is the 4 key points. And then the number 3 is the people. So identify the skill gap in the existing employee. That's very important as well because we need to train, reskill the people in the company. Sometimes we also need to hire a person with the right skill set to train and mentor existing employee. And then the last one, I think cost management. I think cost management is a big part of the cloud strategy. Especially if your company is startup, you have limited resources. You need to balance between speed and cost. Right? We tag our cloud service with the relevant application and department. So we can easily break down the cost, which one costs the most from each features and each department, and we continue to optimize it. Quarterly, we have the KPI to see which costs the most and optimize it. Okay, I think I share you some of the journey and of Shipper strategy in our Shipper Cloud migration. I hope this information is insightful for those who want to migrate their application into the cloud. And also hope this short presentation you get to know Shipper better. It is my personal goal and Shipper goal. Continue helping MSFE out there to keep growing. Thank you. Are there any questions? Any question or ada pertanyaan? You can ask me in bahasa as well, it's fine.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Agus. Pakai bahasa Indonesia or Inggris? Bahasa Indonesia aja boleh?
Ya, boleh.
Terima kasih Pak Agus.
Ya.
Saya mau konfirmasi design like the shipper ID
Ya.
in your website.
Ya.
Oke. Saya bergerak di bidang properti, perusahaan kita di properti di Lemo House, ekspatriat. Kita nyawain sewa rumah gitu buat orang asing, lalu kita bergerak di gedung juga, hospitality, bangun apartemen, hotel dan sebagainya. Nah ini memang kita tertarik karena kita lokasi di Jakarta Selatan. Kita punya gudang cukup besar karena masih supply juga ke rumah-rumah itu, mebel dan sebagainya. Tapi kita punya isu di daerah selatan tuh di Kemang emang banjir gitu. Nah itu bagaimana Pak Daud? Apakah ini inventory atau gudang secara digital only? Karena saya belum lihat tadi dari presentasi yang Bapak, mungkin saya ke-skip.
Ya.
Atau secara fisik layanannya kalau saya baca di website-nya juga gudang logistiknya ada.
Kita ada logistik pengiriman dan juga ada pergudangan. Gitu.
untuk yang space cukup besar atau?
Kita macam-macam sih. Jadi ada yang space-nya biasanya antara 1.000 sampai 5.000 gitu, space-nya, gudangnya. Jadi nggak benar-benar besar yang kayak gudang-gudang apa, giant warehouse ya, kayak Amazon punya warehouse gitu, 50.000, 20.000. Biasanya kita lebih plan kecil-kecil tapi banyak. Jadi strateginya kenapa kayak gitu? Karena kalau kecil-kecil banyak itu, jadi kita bisa deketin ke customer kita. Jadi kalau misalnya dia ada di Jakarta Barat, kalau dia gudangnya lebih dekat ke situ, itu pengantarannya lebih cepat. Instead of satu misalnya rada besar tapi rada jauh ya, nah itu dari costnya juga meningkat. Jadi kita spread sih, tergantung demand-nya gitu. Tapi kebanyakan sih gudang kita lebih kecil tapi lebih spread.
Kayaknya sih mungkin saya lebih bisa diskusi lebih lanjut mungkin nanti.
Boleh.
Karena
Ya,
kalau saya lihat di websitenya Pak Agus lebih ke e-commerce ya.
Iya, kita ada big e-commerce, ada B2B juga, ada B2C, ada B2B. Ya. Kita boleh koneksi, kita biasanya memang cari gudang juga. Ya.
Iya.
Ya, ada pertanyaan lagi?
Mungkin kalau boleh kita lebih detail Pak Agus,
Ya.
untuk teknologi di shipper itu digunakan untuk apa aja ya? Untuk aplikasi mobile application atau apa, dan bisnis functionnya apa gitu yang bisa dipecahkan oleh bisnis function, bisnis problem apa yang diselesaikan solusinya dari teknologi yang digunakan oleh Pak Agus gitu.
Oke, boleh. Jadi di shipper itu kita main bisnisnya itu kita aggregator bisnis. Jadi aggregator logistik pengiriman. Jadi kita kerjasama dengan JNI, JNT, Gojek, Grab. Nah itu bisa pakai kita nge-link ke semua API dia. Jadi customer dengan mudah bisa ngecek, oke, saya mau kirim dari A ke B, dan hampir semua logistik itu kita ada partner. Nah di situ bisa dilihat harga mana yang lebih make sense, dan kita yang bantuin nego, karena kita kalau makin banyak yang pakai kita punya volume, kita bisa minta diskon lebih dan kita kasih diskonnya ke customer. Kita turunin tarifnya juga. Itu salah satu application yang kita pakai. Jadi dari web orang kalau mau ngirim, terus kita ada application buat mitra juga. Kita juga ada application buat driver kita. Jadi driver kita kalau pick up barang, drop barang, itu kita tahu, kita ada journey-nya. Dan di warehouse itu kita pakai buat inventory WMS ya, warehouse management system. Dan itu nge-link juga dengan shipping kita. Jadi kalau orang pakai gudang kita langsung barang-barang dari marketplace, kita itu ada sistem namanya atur. Itu langsung ngambil order dari marketplace masuk ke gudang, dari gudang kita langsung bantu kirim juga dengan logistik partner yang kita. Jadi teknologinya lebih di bidang logistik sih, kebanyakan pengiriman, warehouse, sama omnichannel. Ya, 3 itu. Tapi step by step, jadi mulanya dari pengiriman terus ke gudang, sekarang omnichannel juga ada. Dan dulunya juga karena shipper itu bukan benar-benar dari yang traditional box. Kita udah di cloud tapi penggunaannya itu salah. Jadi kita cuma pakai PHP, VM besar masukin ke dalam gitu, monolitkan. Terus kita spread, karena kalau kayak gitu costnya itu mau di scale mahal. Kita mesti scale semuanya. Kita design order transaction, customer portal, driver, kan itu nggak perlu scale terlalu tinggi gitu, ordernya aja. Jadi order kita scale, kita masukin ke kita taruh auto scaling pakai Kubernetes sama container. Jadi kalau CPU-nya reach certain threshold, ya dia bisa nambah nodes. Gitu. Jadi kita nggak perlu pertama-tama langsung masukin banyak VM, banyak CPU, karena kita udah set auto scaling, misalnya bisa dari 5 sampai 20 komputer. Gitu. Nanti dia spawn sendiri kalau CPU-nya udah naik. Ya, kira-kira menjawab. Udah dipecah sih, makanya itu tadi migration-nya kita migrate dari monolith ke microservice. dan keuntungannya di situ gitu. Ya. Karena kalau monolith kita mau scale, ya mesti scale the whole system ya. Dari ordernya kena, terus drivernya kena, portalnya kena gitu. Tapi ya dulu memang kita mengerti karena pas hyper rebuild kan budgetnya limited ya, jadi juga pakai PHP, yang penting bisa serve customer dulu lah. Terus kita tahu demandnya ada, dapat funding, kita mesti reward. Kalau enggak, ya satu costnya mahal,